Good afternoon, MMTs. We're here to talk about PNRA, Panera Bread. And we can clearly see one thing for sure is that the stock has traded out of nowhere to 176, okay? But the bid and the ask range doesn't even reflect that. These were the prints that went off at 1610. Not only that, I'll enter into the evidence with this 3-minute chart, and I'll enter it right here, is that at 1606, which is 6 minutes after the close, 170 print, you can see it here. Then at 1603, another $170 print at 1603. The volume on that was 2,456 shares at the 170, and then we had the open at 176 here a minute ago before we got to that low. The close of that 3-minute after hours bar was 173.74. So what we're finding is some discrepancies that are not correct in after hours market. Another thing is that the regulators need to regulate the earnings and when these earnings are posted and who gets them. And we would like to know within that info panel structure and the time and sales is who got that, okay? Because it did not reflect that. And right now we're seeing that the current print that just went off, very small amount of shares, it doesn't matter, but it's 172. Okay. And the bid and ask is 173.03 by 173.44. There is no news on Panera Bread. Therefore, the after hours is not regulated with the appropriate way of the bid and ask work. Okay? And the public did not see that $170 entry. The stock closed at 173.06 up here now. Now, I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to be very direct, and I'm going to be very clear. At 1603, people bought it at 170. Yes, it's after hours earnings, but at 1603, it opened at 173.16. It dropped to 170. Now, here's the next order. At 1603, they have an opening bar of 176.06, the high 176.06, and then they print again immediately at 1603 from that 1676 high to 170 entry. And right now on these current bars, I am seeing right now at 1618 opening bar 172. 172 on the high and the low. Well, how about that? It's 172 across the board. Once again, this must be regulated, and it's not. Therefore, we will make sure that these after-hour prints are fair for the public and that the bid and the ask when trading an earnings report are fair and balanced, and that's what the regulations are. Here we go. We got a 167 print, a 166 by what? Look at how wide that bid and ask is. I've got a 167. I've got a 171. I've got here, this must be a broken market maker. I got a 166. We can see this right here in after hours. So basically what we're going to do is we are going to monitor this level, and what we're going to do is that while we're down here, we're not going to try to be, a rock star, but we would be willing to take a look here at this bid is 170 and the ask is 167. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a stab at a 100 share block live. So now it's 166. And now remember that Panera Bread was also at these highs. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try to get hit. Let's see if we do. We're going to keep, he's coming back and trying to buy that right away. Our bid is 166.21. This thing is all over the map now. And one thing that we were out there to buy, and I have canceled it. Okay, open orders, all orders. It looks like, wait a minute, maybe we got hit. Let me go take a look. I've got everything moving very rapidly. It doesn't look like the entry got taken, but we cannot cancel that. And we did cancel it here, and we were trying to get hit. So I do not see that live print on Panera Bread come in over here. Here is all orders. Let's go to executions. I do not see any Pnra. Let's put them in alphabetical order. No, I do not. I repeat. So, one thing about Panera, I'm going to have to find out. The Q1 was 149 and 155 versus, 170 capital IQ consensus. They had fiscal 14 EPS of 680 to 705 versus, 731. Now, listen, Panera Bread preliminary was 196 versus the 194. IQ consensus estimates for 166.7 million versus the 662 million. So that's very close, but one of the things that we're going to do is take a really hard look about these earnings because some of the numbers appear to be not quite what it should be. Remember that in early trade today, the highs were 179 by 179. So we're going to go on brief pause. Here we go in after hours at 170.5 on Panera Bread. One of the things that we have discovered, they have given downside guidance. The MMTs right now, we're going to have to short Panera Bread because of why? Panera Bread downside guidance EPS of 680 to 705 versus 731 capital IQ consensus. Now, company also give downside guidance for Q1, sees EPS $1.49 to 1.55 versus 1.7. That's where the bigger part of the miss is in Panera Bread. Right now, we have some other friends that are shorting this thing, and they're letting loose on this thing right now and after hours, and now they got it right there. Look at that movement. People are shorting off to that side. You can see that bid and that ask. Oh, yes, you can. Now, here's another thing that we're going to do. We're going to take this chart so that we're going to go to setup, and we're going to make this a 1 minute, and we're going to hit OK. Now, from a 1 minute level, and this is all about after hours because it is. Now, one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to take the zoom tool. We're going to let you see where these highs were. Okay? These were our trend lines here. And you can see where the low was because I'll show you. Okay? This is where the low was. I'm going to draw a trend line there. Now, I'm going to take out that trend line. I'm going to take out this trend line. And then we're going to keep the upper end of the trend line. We hit that high right there of 176. Look, the stock got down here as low as 166 and some change. So, Panera Bread issues downside guidance as it did. We're going to take a look at other stocks that may sell down in sympathy. Okay? So basically that 166 that you seen in after hours was also a support level. But remember, when you have the fundamentals deteriorating in the quarter, this isn't the first quarter. They've done this now for 3 quarters in a row, counting this one. So once again, every time they take the estimates down, they have not beat them totally, which tells us as good a company as Panera Bread is, have an excellent management team as they do. They have excellent eating products in their establishment, but the net sales are not topping the estimates or meeting or exceeding the lower expectation in the estimates.